37.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 34. I turned 35 this year, and I'm just really and Kamei, you're 36, right?
I will be
You're
36.
36.
I am 35. We're here. Thank you for coming. Officially. I'm Kamei.
I'm Lena.
I'm Melissa.
I'm a group fitness manager based in New York City. I also do personal training. I am a WBFF figure pro. Yeah. And I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling.
I am a paraprofessional for DOE. So I just basically provide in-classroom support. I too am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor. I'm an artist as well. I sing.
I'm Melissa, and I'm a behavior analyst. I work for a private clinic, and I'm also a yoga instructor.
Would you guys say you're thriving in the fitness wellness spaces or moving?
I'd say emerging.
Right. I'd say en route to thriving.
Route to thriving.
I'm just becoming better and just enjoying the process of that. I think before I was rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to do it. And so now I'm not rushing it at all.
I definitely I feel similar to you. I'm en route and roots to thriving, trying to bridge all of my experiences together, my passions, and have fun. Have the most fun I can in life, honestly. But I wanted us to get together because we are moving, we're thriving in these spaces, but we also have a very common experience. We were all overweight at some point in our lives, but now we are thriving, en route to thriving in the fitness space, and we're helping others, especially behavior analysts, mental health. But basically, I do wish to help people as much as can, whether it's physically and mentally, and you are doing the same as well, especially with the kids.
It's so cute. I challenge them a lot of times to push-up challenges. And a lot of the times my in-classroom support is behavior management. So when some of these boys, they're angry, they have ADHD, I have one child, he has like lightning inside of his body. So he has so much energy. And so we'll go outside of the classroom and do push-up challenges. I think that if I had had more exposure or just tools in my toolbox when I was younger, that, I could be further along.
Melissa, what population do you work with?
Children with autism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And right now with the youngest age. So I agree with a lot of your sentiments as well.
I have one baby, Kennard. He will get down and do push-ups in the middle of the classroom. Okay, your form is get those hips up. Because he's kind of giving more Chris Brown take you down.
Yeah, I love that because I think a lot more kids need to experience that, like fitness. Because one, it's like following instructions, but also learning how to correct your form. And then I do shavasana with my kids too. So like I'll be like, we're gonna sit still. Like it's almost like you're sleeping.
Box breathing.
Yes.
Breathe in for 4.
Yes. They started saying it too. Please. They're like, breathe in, breathe out.
We just need those tools. We need the tools, and that's whatever things. So yes, I work in an ASD classroom. So girl, I know. So we need
that. First question. So what was your relationship with your body growing up?
Hated it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did not like my body. I remember, my grandmother, I think is the culprit of all of this. All of my weight issues. I love her to death. Love her to life. I mean, but the Clean Plate Club is the origin of all of it, and that's just eating beyond fullness. Eating into you better finish all that food. And so going down to Alabama for summer vacations and being overfed as a 6-7-year-old child, getting grown man portions and then having expected to finish it. I was pudgy and fluffy, and I did not like it. I didn't, and then of course paired with the imagery that you receive from mainstream media about what's supposed to be. I wasn't what I was supposed to be, and I didn't enjoy it. It didn't really hit very much until maybe like my teenage years. Like it started to really compound because the hormones come into play. And then, shopping for clothes is not fun anymore because you can't wear what some of the other cool kids are wearing because it's not in your size.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I didn't really learn too much about portions. I think that was the big thing because we didn't have a lot of like fast food and all of that, but I just was eating entirely to eat just too much. Growing up was encouraged a lot to do like sports, and that definitely did help a lot with me being able to stay in shape. But I kind of leaned on working out, so I think that is also what carried on into adulthood. Is that I'm just like, okay, you just got to work out enough, but you never really learned about the portions. So once that workout regimen changes, like that's when a lot of the weight started to come on. And definitely with the clothes, oh my goodness, I feel like I don't even know if we have enough time to talk about all of that. But
we can do a part 2.
With the clothes, I think one of the things is just seeing clothes as like a reward. That was something I had to unlearn as I got older. It's like you have nice things when you lose weight, and it's like, or buying a size smaller and eventually being able to fit into it. It's supposed to be your motivation, but it ends up being something that it's like make you feel like you're not really accomplishing it, because every time you try it on, it's too tight, so it kind of discourages you and makes you feel bad about yourself and that you're not really doing what you need to be doing. I think that's one of the biggest things that I had to learn when I was older, of the small wins, that it's not just the weight. I always wanted to be a size 12 and I wanted to be a certain weight, that those were the only 2 measures that mattered to me. And getting older, I think learning that there are different ways of like being healthy and being at like a right weight. And definitely with the stores, I remember it was so disheartening. I feel like we've come such a long way with clothes of being like mid-size, and plus size has also changed as well, because it's like people just feel like go wear plus size, but it's so it was matronly, and like all the bathing suits were like a full
So I'll never forget, I wanted these pair of lace-up jeans. You guys remember there was like lace-up? I wanted a pair of them so bad. I'm telling you, I still do. I still want them, but they didn't have it in my size. But what about you?
Childhood relationship with my body was definitely like a roller coaster. Pre 10 years old, I think I was kind of just like chilling, just kid. I was chubby and that was fine. I think maybe 10, 11, like middle schoolish. Okay, so elementary school, I was in a predominantly white school, so like people already didn't look like me, so it was fine. But then I get to like a predominantly black middle school, and I'm seeing these pretty black girls, but they're also thinner. Okay, I'm a little chunky, and it's fine. But somewhere at the age of 11, I just remember looking in the mirror and like absolutely hating what I saw. Hated. I was never diagnosed with like an eating disorder, but I was starving myself between ages 11 and 13, 14, somewhere around there. My mom actually noticed that I wasn't really eating, and she started cooking healthier. So that was great. She put me in soccer. So I started losing weight in a more healthy way, playing soccer, eating better food. So by the time I was like 14, I was very comfortable in my body. I was very happy. Yeah. Between ages 10 and 13 were struggling. Big struggle. I did not like myself at all.
There wasn't a lot of inclusivity, in those times. And it's hard. And that's hard when, say, somebody says, you're supposed to look like this, and then you're not meeting that. And so then you feel wrong. And then I think like, when the sports really help you learn to trust your body.
Absolutely.
And trust yourself. And that develops a confidence, like be present in your body. Not like, oh, I hate it here, I hate it there, I hate it here. Like, no, like really being comfortable. Okay.
Melissa, what sports did you play?
Basketball was my major sport. I
always wanted to play basketball, but I realized that you couldn't just shoot free throws. You had to run back.
Playing basketball as an adult, like just when doing it for fun, I'm like, at my heart. I did AAU, so we like traveled and stuff, and track. So track was like my complementary to basketball. So a little bit of that transferred into an adult, because I do run and run with run clubs now. So, but
That's
basketball, I haven't gone back to. So, yeah, I did do as an adult, like kind of like some social sports. I did like kickball.
fun.
Like, just to meet people.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that.
Yeah.
Right. I think I feel like I touched on this one already, but when did you first realize your weight was affecting more than how you looked?
Ooh. So for me, I actually so I had weight loss surgery. I had the gastric sleeve.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this all started. So I moved to Jersey in 2019, and I was at like my peak weight, and then I had realized that just with my working out, it was just like so much harder. And I was like, you know what? I need to lose the weight. I feel like this weight, I was over 300 at this point. And I feel like once you keep getting a new baseline, you're like, okay, it's like, okay, I don't want to I'm not going to go over 250. Okay, I'm not going to go over 300. Then I got to 300. So once your weight keeps creeping up, that was one thing for me was the physical weight and then just feeling it. I had never felt out of weight, like just out of breath and things like that with like, we were at a client, I had to go up 5 flights of stairs. I had to stop at the top, and I was like I had to breathe before I opened the door. So I was like, okay, I need to change. And I gave myself a year. That year was 2020. So, so I like gained even more weight. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the surgery. So, yeah. So in 2021. I got the surgery, and that it was the best decision I've ever made because I knew that I needed it because I needed something to physically make, like I said before with the portions.
Yeah.
With the sleeve, you physically can't eat that much, and it's very restricted in the beginning, and it really teaches you just to slow down and so that it was like a huge way to like kickstart.
Yeah.
And then it gives you that boost because then I was like, oh, let me go run. Let me like go back to CrossFit. Let me do all these other things, and you start to feel confident. You feel like an athlete, and and so it just gave me the momentum. Yeah, and then the tough part is like after a couple years out, although your stomach is still restrictive, you do have your appetite. A lot of your appetite comes back. So a lot of those patterns you have to stick with them of or the weight creeps up. So I did experience a little bit of that, of a little bit of regain. Not all, but but a little bit. So yeah.
Wait a minute. So okay, so you can't eat that much with the sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
but after a few years, like, does it stretch, or are you able to like if you want to have like a giant meal at this point in 2026?
Yeah.
Could.
So I am able to eat like a typical portion. I'll never be able to eat what I used to.
Okay.
I used to be able to eat a full Chipotle burrito. I can't do
do
that
that
now. I used to eat a full pie. I still can't. I can't do that now. I can have 2 slices of pizza. And when I started, so another thing, it's like a blessing in disguise a little bit, but a lot of the junk food essentially is like very aversive to your body. So grease makes you nauseous and sick, and chocolate and like high sugar foods. So you just avoid those because you're like not trying to,
not trying to get sick.
But yeah, a lot of people don't realize it's like you can gain all of your weight back because you're it's a lot of those like filler foods.
Yeah.
You can't like I said, I can't eat a whole pizza and a whole like thing, but if you snack all day and you eat excessive amount of calories, you can eat a lot of calories, but you just can't eat a lot at one time.
I think for me, I think it's more recent for me, especially as I've been getting older. I think at the beginning of my weight journey, it was aesthetic. I think it was not about health at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was really more about aesthetic. But as I've been getting older, and my body is changing, and I've had like my tolerance for sugar. So I would have some sugar, and then I'd have my body would be inflamed, and I would have joint pain, and I would have to so what do I do? How do I figure this out? So I think mine was way more recent in terms of wanting to be at optimal health and eating for nutrients, and really going into and figuring out what does my body like, what do I like, what is healthy, and what supports my goals as far as health, not just aesthetic.
I love that. So part of that for me too has also been recent. I think with not having like processed foods and like whole foods, more fruits and vegetables, that has been like new for me. Before it was like, don't have too many calories, don't gain the weight, and like I wanted to be a really good athlete. So, so I was like, I wanted to be fast. I wanted to, so, but as far as like what's really good for my gut, what's really good for my body, that me too has been recent.
Yes. What's good what's going to keep me, we know that the sugar ages you. Okay? The sugar and alcohol, that ages you. And so once I was like, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a elder who is, she's 70 something, look still
there's quite a few
40, 30, but she's all vegan, all raw, etc. And so when you start to see that, you like, so then that shifts some things for you. You like, okay, I might need to switch up a little
bit. Getting sleep, like I never considered that.
Once I hit 30, that your mortality and your awareness about your age starts to get a little bit more, so I think that shifted my diet and that shifted my eating habits a little bit, of course a little bit more refined.
Fair. I actually did just think, because I'm at first I thought, like, I realized like my weight affected me as a child, but actually more recently, being in bodybuilding, it turns your world upside down. After I got my pro card in 2024, I haven't been back on stage in almost 2 years at this point. Thank you. But it's because like I was training as a bodybuilder from 2020, kind of still currently, but between 2020 and 2024, nonstop, you start to look at food differently. You look at your body differently because I've seen myself at 10% body fat, skin and bones and muscle. Dehydrated on stage flexing. So when you go from that extreme to just your norm all of a sudden becomes unattractive. And then also the fixation on food and macros and calories and cardio, it stays with you even when you have no show. Like I had after April 2024, I didn't plan on competing until like another year and a half. So I'm like, year and a half, I can chill, I can recover. But no, like my mind was like, how much sugar is in this? How much protein is in that? How much cardio did I do today? Am I like, it was so obsessive. And even just looking at the number on the scale, that was freaking me out. Like if I go from like 170 to 171 because I had like a giant bowl of vegetables, that would freak me out, which is a problem. Just that unhealthy obsession with the food, the exercise, the look, the physical look, the weight, the scale, the way your clothes fit, everything. It because it's so unhealthily obsessive, it like that kind of just destroys your life a little bit. So more recently, that's what I have experienced, and that was when I first realized as an adult that something needs to be done. So I went to therapy because it was just not healthy. It was not a good way to live. So I feel better now.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm finding more. I'm trying to find more balance as well. One of the things that I've experienced also is just shifting my because I emotionally overeat. So I'll overeat, for comfort. But, very recently, being frank, very recently, it's like, okay, what like leaning into the emotion instead of trying to stuff it down and suppress it. And saying, okay, what is it I am trying to fight and avoid? And lean into it instead of doing the thing because when I get to the solution about why do I feel how I feel and then work through it, I don't need the comfort in the food. I've had the comfort because I have the comfort in the solution. The piece of resolving whatever it is I'm trying to avoid. Instead of letting that emotion and saying, oh no, I don't want to feel it. I'm going to stuff my face with food and not feel anything and just feel bloated and full and uncomfortable. And like, this tastes good. And so this tastes good. So I don't have to feel bad about whatever it is I'm feeling. And so that's something that I've been no longer eating for comfort, eating for hunger and satiation and nutrients, but not for comfort, not for enjoyment.
That's such a journey to get to because it is so easy to just give in and be like, I just want to eat all the cookies. I don't want to feel anything. Like it's like you have to really be disciplined and be like, no, what am I trying to avoid? What other ways can I find joy? Like that's such a process, and not a lot lot of people, myself included.
There's a lot of books out there.
Yeah.
There's there's tools out there. If you look for them, you can find it. That's just been my most recent thing about not eating for comfort, eating for nutrients, eating for what is going to support me when I'm in school with these kids. My energy levels, what is going to support me at my highest level.
Was there anything that made you get there? Was there a specific moment that made you focus on that, or?
Yeah, I'd say most recently, I told you I went to Puerto Rico, and I felt like I gained some weight over the summer, and it definitely was emotional eating, and so that, you take 5 steps forward, 2 steps back, and so I just kind of was examining, like, how did this happen, and so I was able to unpack that, and so that's the most recent catalyst for me unpacking more emotional eating. And then it's even funnier. I was doing really good, before I left, and I was like, yeah. I was feeling like hot stuff, baby. Yeah. And then but I still wasn't happy. I still wasn't present and enjoying it because I looked back at the pictures before. I was like, oh, girl, you was smile, girl.
That's always it.
It was teeny tiny, and I was not enjoying it. I was still pushing, go. Yeah. When's the next thing? What's the next, what's the next milestone? What's the next? You got to lose more, And so that ebb and flow just reflected to me, to be more present and happy on the journey. And enjoy where you are. Yes, you do have goals, but still enjoy where you are. Because I was not enjoying. I was still, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I'm not. But looking back, I say, wow.
That's such a huge point, because I have struggled with that as well, of like enjoying where you are, and it's so hard when your body isn't where you want it to be. And also, like, I, having been a lot fitter, I was like a much faster runner. That's how I started my journey, was with running. So with working out is kind of like where I flipped a bit, because I would go for a run, and it was nowhere near the way that I used to run. So every run that I did, it always felt disappointing because I'm nowhere near where I used to be. I would, with CrossFit, I was like, I don't move like I used to. So every workout that I did, I was so disappointed because I'm not what I was before. So I think that's such a good point of meeting yourself where you're at. This is where we are, and we can, even though you have goals, like, this is still acknowledge like the accomplishments that you've had. I really
Absolutely.
like that. Yeah.
Another discipline.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, but once you're there, good.
I think also just assessing our value and being with that is, to our weight or, our aesthetic. We have to find, better ways to assess our value.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of what I've worked on. It's like, like, am I valuable? Am I good enough I am good enough. That's where I am. Yeah. Will I be better? Absolutely. But I am good enough just where I am. And I think, assessing my other attributes to myself that I value over aesthetic. Everybody's chasing aesthetic, but, not character. And we're missing character development. We're missing, real personhood.
You still need to realize that you get to still enjoy your life.
Yeah.
I think that's
you
thing
deserve
that
it.
You deserve.
Yeah. Regardless of your weight.
Feed my soul.
Back to church.
We also touched on this. We're going to touch on a little bit of everything, but we'll just like circle back as the questions go. What messages did you receive, either explicit or subtle, about Black women's bodies?
We were supposed to be video vixens, right? I'm sorry. I know. I grew up watching these videos. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're supposed to be. That's what I mean. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
That's what I'm called. We was also supposed to be video vixens, very sexual. You know, very trendy. I always wanted to wear the, cool clothes. So, like I said, those those lace up pants. Those were very much, on trend with being a, sexy, hot thing, especially as a Black woman. So yeah, I'd say that's what was pushed toward that. It's definitely an agenda. We can go there. I mean, mainstream culture was pushing video vixen.
Yeah.
But I'll say for my grandmother, which is balance is an amazing thing, and I'm so grateful for. Is my grandma was trying to dress me like the church first lady. Okay, that was what she. I have trauma, not trauma. I have not so pleasant memories of she'd take me to the the department stores, your Dillard's, your McRae, etc. And I would say, okay, hey, you like this? Now, what she was asking me, did I like, was a blazer with shoulder pads, the skirt, the scarf matching set. Y'all know how it has the same fabric print. They got the scarf. That's what she's asking me. Do I like? I'm 12. Okay. So, and then if you say you don't like it, there's children starving in Africa who need clothes. And then if you say you do like it, she buys it and you got to wear it.
Yep.
So it was a two-sided thing, but it's also and so as I said, I'm returning to the grandmother and mother side, and I do enjoy dressing well because it was her affirming me in her own way. That's how they affirmed us. They put you in a suit. We want you to be somebody. That's how they affirmed us, and that's how she was speaking life over me and giving me encouragement. And so, in hindsight, I'm grateful for it. But I'd say those two sides is like video vixen or church lady. And so I'm reverting to the church lady now, but I am. But it's very, those were definitely the messages. And she got dressed, honey. Those Bessie Nettle suits, honey. The hats, so honey. Miss ma'am. She had the ones with the suits with the sequins on it, matching hat, and Bessie Nettle could put it on.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely seen the image of either like a small waist and a big butt, or very muscular, or like super thin. And I feel like now you see the emergence of like mid-size, and I feel like that has never really been celebrated. And I feel like now, especially that I make more fitness content, you really see that like disparity, and then you feel like there's no one, that like looks like that. And it's not really celebrated to be mid-sized. To be fit means to be one or the other. You're skinny or you're super muscular. And I think especially a lot of the Black women that have like made it in the fitness industry, they fall into one of those two.
Yeah. So, I definitely agree with both of you. Like growing up, definitely the vixen body for sure. That's really all I saw. Like I watched BET all the time. Like, when they were like music videos. So yeah, that was it. But also being from the Caribbean, my family's from Jamaica. Like Caribbean women are supposed to be curvy, and I don't have any curves. Like the butt that I have now, I built. So that is all muscle, hard-earned squats, lunges, and protein. But it's not naturally like that. So I actually was very insecure especially because like everyone else, well, not everyone else, my sister and my cousin specifically, they were curvy. They had boobs and booty, and I'm like, I'm just.
So still embracing yourself.
I didn't embrace myself until more recently.
I think also I'm like I'm finding balance with like I don't necessarily since I've lost weight, like I feel like I like hide my body a lot sometimes because I want to wear big t-shirts and big clothes sometimes because I don't like some of the energy that's garnered with being curvy. Like I sometimes I feel I don't like all that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it just it feels very icky
Yeah.
sometimes, and so I feel like sometimes I just don't enjoy that. I mean, I think, and that's also something that I think that the weight gain. I was listening to someone saying that the weight gain is a protective measure. Sometimes, it is a padding. It's literally a barrier between you and the world, and working through that. And so, something that popped into my
No, that's true. I've actually heard just a lot of women who have lost weight recently feeling very uncomfortable with the attention that they get, and some will actually just gain the weight back to avoid it.
Oh, I did that.
Wait, specifically to avoid the attention?
I couldn't. Well, I didn't. It wasn't. I wasn't cognizant of it when I did it. I wasn't like, oh, need it back. But I definitely did. That my first go round when I started on my fitness journey, I couldn't handle the attention. I was not used to it. When you're a plus size girl, I was definitely upwards into 240, 18, 20 size. And I think I was very like I wasn't used to the attention. Like they look over you as a plus size girl. And so once I shifted and I got smaller, I got down to, I'd say my smallest at that time was 170. When I got down to 170, you garner a lot more attention, a lot more eyes. Honey, I was like, why are y'all looking at me? Stop looking at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it freaked me out. It did. I hated it. And I did gain it back. I did gain and it was paired with life things. I lost my job. I was living with my grandmother who was cooking soul food, dressing mac and cheese, and stopped working out. So that combination of things, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna gain it back on purpose. It was those things working together, but I definitely did not, because I was just overstimulated. I was overstimulated by the level of attention, and I could not handle it. I think that that's something to unpack too, about how society treats you differently when you are smaller.
For sure.
That's so interesting because I had like kind of a different experience. But because I definitely had the same thing with, I think, especially anything over like 50 pounds you're gonna get, especially like the people that you work with or go to school with, the people that you see you all the time. When they see you start to transform, and then they're still getting used to like your new body. So I do remember that of just like every day you come into work, no matter what you're wearing, like it's like, oh my God, you look so great. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of loved it. I was like, every day. Yes. But and then and it's interesting because with the regain, I noticed that people won't tell you, or maybe some people, I know some people are like, oh, you look like, but most people don't say like, oh, you've gained some weight. But people won't tell you that, you look bigger, but they just won't say anything. And then it's like, damn, and then I think also people tie, like you had said, with different expectations that they tie your beauty also to your weight. So people weren't also just saying like, oh, you lost weight, you look great. They're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And then it's like, I'm the same person at the same size, but I'm still beauty, but nobody, like people won't say that because it's like you've had this shift. So that was hard for me at first because I personally enjoyed it at first. I was like, man, nobody likes my outfit. Yes, you really, it's a lot to get used to because it's like everybody and like everybody that it's like they're always, you look so great every time they see you. Anybody who hasn't seen you in a while, like, oh my God, and then it just goes to nothing.
And you have to still affirm yourself.
And I think about that. I think about before, and I try to get back to that because I remember when I was at my peak fitness, it was interesting because I didn't care what anybody thought because I would look in the mirror, I'm like, I can't believe you look like that. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I need to get back to that of like leaving the house, like, you look good. I don't care what anybody says, like, you look amazing,
I think that like I was saying earlier, my shift in my identity not being so tied to my appearance is the thing that has shifted for me. I am confident because I'm confident in my character. I'm confident in my personhood, in my positivity, my energy that I bring to the table. I'm confident in my wisdom. So just feeling more confident in those other things, I think was, and I do think the weight loss was definitely a catalyst for me developing myself and like we said, trusting myself, trusting ourselves. But I think just developing that confidence in other places so that you can still feel worthy, whether or not you get into compliments or whether or not you've got the weight on you or not.
I appreciate this. Just like things I feel like I'm still working on and just trying to make like my main way of life. Because a lot of the time it is still very much like aesthetic and what I look like. But like, who am I? Like, how do I treat people? How do I serve the world? Just in general, like my inside, besides like not just the shell, but who am I inside? Like, how does that impact? Yeah, it's just things I'm trying to figure out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all on our journey.
Yeah.
And I think just that piece in the foundation is essential. Like, yeah, like you said, it's the shell, but like internally, I think we have to have peace internally first, and then we can, it all stems together. Like, you know, we've got to a point where we've done some work. You've done some things. You've done your work with your kids. You've done your work as a group fitness. You know what I'm saying? So we've lived a certain amount of life, and we can be confident in that and feel pride in that, in the work that we've done, our vessel and the way that it looks, how we did it. That didn't change the work that got done. What is this? Are we middle? No, we're not middle aged. What is this?
I don't know. I think 35 is middle age, but then I was told it changed, and now 40 is middle age. I don't know.
But yeah. Either way, we're facing our mortality more as we get older, and you know, you think about legacy more, and you think about what, you know, you've lived your first 35, 34, 36, you know, first set of years, and now we can say, okay, what do I want these next 30, 40 years to look like? And you have a choice in that.
I love that too. And one thing I've also thought about is like, what were like the best years of your life and why?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I'm into
You're entering that.
That is something I'm entering, that I'm confident in that. I've never been more calm, more peace. I'm not in a rush. I used to rush. I have to do 5 million, you know, calories. I have to do the stairs and this 7 classes a day. And, I have to go. I have to get to my goal. And now I'm not rushing. I trust myself. I trust the process. I'm going to get there. I'm entering into the best time. Yes. I'm telling you, I've never trusted myself as much as I have right here.
We got about 10 minutes. Let's talk about food. What is food in your life?
Think about this one.
What is food? Food, as I said, was an expression of love from my grandmother. If you didn't finish all the food, you do love her. You know, I think in various cultures also, that is how, you know, they may not have had a lot, you know, but they could offer you a meal. When I was out of town, like, you know, I kept at first, you know, when somebody said, "Hey, do you want some food?" And I was like, "Why are you trying to give me food?" I was a little put off by it. But then it happened 2 other times, and I said, "Oh, that's what that is. They are offering me what they do have." I got to touch on these chemicals that's in these foods too. These chemicals, these things that they want us addicted to it. They want us to eat the whole bag so that they can profit and benefit from that. So we have to think about, you know, people say big pharma. I think we have to talk about big food. The worse food is cheaper. You know, the unhealthy food is cheaper and more accessible. And so finding that balance of how we can still make healthy choices on a budget.
Absolutely.
That has always been huge for me, of being like healthy on a budget. I'm big into meal prep. I think ever since I started my fitness journey, I love to meal prep, and I feel like having that structure has helped so much with portions. And with food, it's hard to realize, but like food is with everything and celebration and like, and it takes so much self control. And a lot of people, when they talk about losing weight, the number one thing is they're like, I got to get in the gym. And then, but going to the gym, that's like deciding to do a workout in the morning. That's one decision, right? But with food, it's like what do they have in the office, and then on your way home from work, like you stop by all these fast food. Are you gonna go there? Are you like? There's so many decisions to be made, and when it comes to food, that it's way more stressful than people actually talk about. Like your whole day,
and learning to say no.
Yeah,
say no.
Yes.
There was a bag of pastries at Park Slope, and they offered me a bag and said, "Hey, we got some of this. You want some?" I had to stay so strong. I had to stay so strong. Say no. Yeah. I did not want to say no. It looked like they had a croissant with some chocolate inside of it.
That sounds delicious.
I'm telling you, I had to stay so strong. So yeah, saying no. You touched on scarcity. I think that's something too that I've been dealing with too. I think when I was living with my mom, like, oh, don't eat all that or don't have that. You can't. You have certain things, and I think I went through a phase. I moved on my own. I could eat. I'm gonna eat the whole thing because I can. Not because I need to, but I can do that, and that wasn't healthy either.
No.
Yeah, but I'm just, I can, because somebody told me that I couldn't when I, so there's that too.
Yeah, but with restaurants, when you're like, okay, you want to eat, you paid for this, so you want to eat your whole meal. If you're stuffed, if you don't like it, like stop. Like,
send it back or take it home or just don't eat. The thing is, the money is already spent. Right? Why are you torturing yourself? Like my mom does that sometimes. She'll like be like, I ordered it, and she'll try to force something. I'm like, you are not hungry anymore. Stop. Yeah. You paid the money, it's gone. Yeah. Leave it on the plate.
Yeah. But I think, but our elders, they have that Depression era mindset, and so that's a part of why that you got it, because they went through moments of scarcity in the Depression era. We don't know when we're gonna get it again. So that is, if we have a surplus now, you better eat up. And that's a part of some of those habits that they just still try to ingrain in us. And
that's so true.
And and then like we said, even in engagement with other people, like dates and things. Like we gotta go to dinner. No,
we can do something else. Absolutely. Yeah, we can do something else.
Yeah. The sugar too. I feel like sugar is so underrated, and people not underrated, but it's like people don't realize how much sugar is in everything.
Yes.
It is a drug. Let me tell you.
Everything, and it certainly is a drug.
Yeah.
When I did my first competition in 2020, my mom bought me these cupcakes after my show. The thing is, I hadn't had sugar in like 10 months.
Yeah.
I felt so drunk off of those cupcakes. I was like, oh no, this is poison. I swear to God, it was like I had alcohol. I was like, what is this? Absolutely not. I want no fires. And I tried to tell everybody, like, please get me sugar-free or like natural sugared food, because they have like the raw some in the city. I don't know if you guys have been there, but everything is like raw and or they'll use like cane sugar, whatever is natural is how they sweeten it. So I was like, please order desserts from there. It's fine.
It is definitely like a high, but for me, just the sugar with the inflammation, that for me became an absolute. I would, being in the schools, somebody had a birthday party, we got cupcakes, and I would indulge, or whatever, Christmas, holidays, whatever part, and so I would indulge, and then the next day I would aching, hurting, joint hurting, and so you do that a couple times, it's like I ain't doing that anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. you get to a certain level of pain, and you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that to myself anymore. And so, and then you develop habits to counteract. So okay, I got a sauna, I got to drink my water, got to flush it out. So the sugar is very, very dangerous, and I'm so worried about the kids, because they don't even know, like, the drinks, sugar. The
honey buns for breakfast.
It's not real food.
Yeah.
The candy, it's really bad. The frosted flakes for Lucky Charms. It's so much.
Those are so
Pebbles.
good. Yeah. But they're just not food though.
That's so delicious.
It's not real. Just stop feeding your children cereal.
Please
Yeah.
stop.
It's good as it is. It's just not real food.
Yeah.
And it will lead to like problems as an adult. Don't do it.
And you know, I saw something that Dr. Amen said. It's like we say everything in moderation, and that's an excuse that we tell ourselves.
Right.
It's not moderation. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Because either way, it's not serving you.
Absolutely.
And the more we tell ourselves that lie, the longer we stay in unhealth. But you know, what is going to serve me energetically the most? My food choices.
And so many things too can be sweetened with fruit, and I think with seasonings as well. How we have so much sodium.
I love cinnamon.
Any of like I use like Cajun or cayenne pepper, like all of those things you can use. And I literally don't own salt.
Well, we are out of time. What do you guys? What do you guys think of a part 2?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good.
So we'll be back.
Bye, y'all.
My feet hurt. My legs hurt. My butt hurts.